I'm Nick, and this is Kenny. We're the Malt Vault. Strap on. Welcome to episode 5 of our Malt Vault podcast. Today we are going to crack open and drink a Sam Adams Boston Lager. Kenny is going to probably be the chaperone of this journey of American beer and its voyage and 30 plus years in America?
Oh, 1984.
Yeah.
So 39 years.
Shortly after Nam.
You can't say 1984.
That's not shortly after. Wow. Yeah. The end. 1984. So that would be 39 years this year.
Almost 40 years.
Terrible.
We're almost as old as this beer.
You are old. You are as old. I am not almost.
That triggers me.
Nick, you drank a beer from somebody's basement that was this old.
Well,
We'd have to fact check that can, but Nick did drink a 30.
he did
Plus
consult
old
the
beer.
mole. He knows. I think he kept the can as a.
It was his grandpa's. Yeah, we found it in his basement.
Could have happened to anyone.
It was at least a little bit okay.
Sorry for that obnoxious.
It was better than my 1992 Miller Lite.
Oh yeah, when you were 4.
We'll have to taste test that. 1984, founded by Jim Koch. He was a 6th generation brewer. His great-great-great-grandfather, Louis Koch, founded Cincinnati Brewery, which eventually became nationally recognized as Huddapole. He had been brewing beer. He didn't. This isn't as one generation as you might think. It started in 1984, but this guy came from a line of brewers that knew what they were doing. So he knew his way around beer. He'd experimented with beer, if you know what I mean.
Is that a college joke?
Before he founded it, he went to Harvard Law School, got an MBA, and went to get a job in management consulting. This was before Sam Adams.
What even is that?
Yeah.
I think that you should try this. What makes you say that? I went to Harvard.
MBAs are bullshit.
Yeah.
On the record saying that.
That's a fact.
Okay.
Management consulting. It's, yeah.
Gross.
What do you have on the beer itself? Or we still going on?
Well, I was just talking about where it came from.
Yeah.
I think that's important to hear.
For sure.
He decided he didn't want this high-paying Harvard Law School MBA. I mean, it wasn't for Harvard Law School, but if you have a Harvard Law degree, MBA,
Right. You're pursuing
you can
something
do whatever. So he had a high.
Yeah.
We can make a statement that he was probably really well paid. He decided he didn't want to do it, and he was going to quit and start brewing beer. And his wife said,
Okay.
"Fuck that shit," and she left. And she kicked him out of their house. She must have got the house. Maybe they had kids. I don't know if
Talk
he
about
had
a
kids.
progressive woman.
His dad, he went into a depression. His dad took him up to an attic.
I don't like.
It sounds like
this
This is sounding like a Dan Cook joke.
No, but he pulled out, and I don't know why. If you're a 5th generation brewer, right? His dad, all the secrets should be out by now, right? Someone would have cashed in, but his dad allegedly took him up to an attic, opened an old suitcase. This is like a movie. This doesn't really happen, and pulled out the family recipes for his Vienna-style beer.
There we go. Back to Europe,
Always
Austria,
back to
Germany.
Austria.
Gosh.
Well, it was just and that was just Vienna-style, right? I don't know. I think his great-great-great-grandfather was German. We can fact check me later. So dad took him out of the attic, showed him family recipes. It called for very specific hops from Bavaria, north of
Bavaria.
Munich, Germany.
Yep. There we
So
go.
it required
Back
at
in
least
Germany.
these Bavarian hops, right?
Gosh. Nazi propaganda.
With his tough, tough hard knock life coming up, he hired an ad agency for this beer company he hadn't started yet. They suggested the name Sacred Cod because it meant so much to the city of Boston, which is where he was starting the Boston Beer Company, right?
Oh. Sacred Cod.
What was I going to say? He didn't like that name.
We're trying to do.
I'm trying to get rid of this thing. Sorry.
Oh, it's fine.
It's just your viewing history.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird that Meat Spin wasn't up though.
That's my viewing future.
Lemon party.
Nick actually tried and he didn't have the plugin downloaded.
Well,
That sounds suggestive in itself.
He needed ActiveX.
Um,
That wasn't a euphemism.
active XXX.
All right, we're starting now.
So he didn't like the. So he did not like the name Sacred Cod, right?
Nobody would like that.
That's a terrible beer name.
I'm not a fish
Sacred
guy.
Cod Brewing. Like, it sounds like you're getting a fish mouth.
Sounds like a shitty dojo.
Sacred.
Sacred God.
Sounds like someone etched out the bottom half of the G in Sacred God. What is that? The Church of the Sacred Cod? Look at that. They fucking vandalized that sign.
That would be begging to be vandalized. So
Yeah.
good on them
Sacred.
in this hypothetical situation.
Easily could have made that Sacred Cock. So, speaking of cock,
Oh, I'm right here.
oh, he's in the room.
Sorry.
He thought about he was going to name it the Lewis Coke. Koch is their last name.
Yeah.
After his great grandfather. He was going to name it the Lewis Coke Brewery. And the way I read it, a friend politely suggested that his last name could be mispronounced. So they're going to go with the Lewis Cock Brewery. So if you're ever drinking a Sam Adams, you can just call it a Lewis Cock and no one will know what you mean, but you'll know. And that's kind of cool. Sometimes it's nice to keep things to ourselves.
It's a nice conversation starter.
Yeah, did you know this is used to be almost was called cock?
Yeah.
Oh, you got Lewis Cock in your mouth.
Yeah, Nick, that is not a conversation starter. It's the opposite. We've
What's that?
known each other for a while, so I can
Tomatoes,
say
You're not a
tomatoes.
real man unless you got a cock in your hand. Anyways, that it's Koch, so it's appropriate.
So,
Having
do
too
we
much
want to jump into Untapped? See what they got on this?
Yeah, hold on, one more. I'll
Yeah,
just get up
sure.
to the naming and then we'll be.
Yeah.
So he didn't like that. He narrowed it down to 6 names: Golden Oak, Joy Street, Liberty Tree. You see where I'm going? They're very American themes.
Yeah.
The James Otis, which I don't know who that is, but that's a black hole you can get into one day on YouTube or Wikipedia. New World or Sam Adams, obviously
Wikipedia.
what he decided to go with. Anyways, that's where we're at. That's how
Yeah.
I got the name Sam Adams. Go ahead with the Untapped.
Yeah. So, Sam Adams Boston Lager, which we are all drinking tonight.
mine's off colored.
Vienna-style lager, which Kenny talked about earlier. Obviously, everything that we've had thus far is some sort of derivative of an Austrian, German, or English-style beer. It got a 3.4 on Untapped and 30 IBU with a 5%. I had some pretty interesting stuff. Kenny talked a little bit about
The naming.
not necessarily the naming, but the how they were looking for a very specific hop.
Bavarian.
Yep. Yep. So they have hops that are hand selected. So they're very, very specific about that. And they cost about 20 times more than the cost of an average hop.
Oh, that makes sense.
So they are very, very choice with the recipe. I don't know if that is anything indicative of Lewis or if that's a Jim thing. I couldn't find anything on if that was a Lewis dictation to Jim or Jim just went off on his own beaten path.
Lewis
Well, a
was
little
dead.
bit of a trailblazer.
Lewis was likely dead and did not talk to Jim.
Well, I meant like
'cause
the
it was his-
recipe, if it recipe called for it.
No, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe when they went up to the attic, there was a Ouija board situation, as happens often.
life size.
I actually once dated a girl from
That's good.
End of story.
from from the Sam Adams.
That's weird.
From Sam Adams, yeah, she had one leg. She was the hop expert.
That's not a bad joke.
Yeah,
That's
well,
that's on point.
Yeah.
I'm a dad, so you can give me points. For
I'll give
effort
it
on
a
that.
I'll give it a 3 out of 5 hot.
I'm a dad of actual kids, not just little kids.
Your kids don't count.
Mine. You just deny
Or they're
their
little
Did
kids.
you just deny my kid's existence?
They are. What did we say earlier? Least.
No.
Kenny, you put all your kids together in some sort of like Austin Powers situation where Mini Me's on bottom and Austin Powers is on top. Maybe
Yeah.
you get an actual full kid out of that. Let me tell you that. No.
All three of my kids in a press turned into one real kid. Dang.
What
What's
the hell
next?
were we talking about?
Founding. Jim Coke.
Yeah, I just went into the ingredients
Oh.
and some of that stuff. So if you want to
Untapped a little bit.
give us a little tidbit, little nugget.
No, I was thinking about your joke again.
Sorry.
There's like a hopscotch thing in there.
Didn't mean to torment you with that.
No, it was good. It was good.
Oh, great.
I want to touch
Tell
on.
from your lack of laugh.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. Sam Adams, the original OG Sam Adams, Revolutionary War, founding father.
Was that Sam Adams and Sam Eve?
Yeah, they saw a snake or whatever.
Yeah. Go ahead. You said the original. It was just
It's a really
No,
big
that
beer
was
glass.
the original. So Sam Adams was also a graduate of Harvard. He was an unsuccessful businessman and tax collector. And I don't know if it means unsuccessful businessman, but like a successful tax collector, or if the unsuccessful applies to both. But then it says before concentrating on politics. Sam Adams is a controversial figure in American history. I guess that's a fact. Disagreement about his significance and reputation began before his death and continues to the present. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit fucked up, that disagreement about your significance and reputation began before you're even dead. It's like, this guy's still alive.
you insignificant. Yeah. So I thought he was an attorney too.
Nice boondocks.
He was definitely an attorney, but maybe politics were, I don't know.
I mean, those guys wore a lot of hats and wigs.
Yeah.
Supporters of the revolution praised Adams, but loyalists viewed him as a sinister figure. Peter Oliver, the exiled Chief Justice, exiled is a pretty cool title to have bestowed upon you, of Massachusetts, characterized him as a devious Machiavellian with a cloven foot. And then this is my last little tidbit about Sam Adams. 1923, and again, this is going to be a name that nobody knows. Ralph V. Harlow used a Freudian approach to characterize Adams as a, quote, neurotic crank. Harlow argued that because the masses were easily misled, Adams manufactured public opinion to produce the revolution.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Original fake news.
I watched the HBO special. It's got not Steve Buscemi. Who's the Paul Giamatti?
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti, is that the big fat liar guy?
Yeah, turn blue.
Yeah.
Turn blue. Ink with Frankie Muniz.
Yeah, he is John Adams. And what did you say? Something about cranky? Not pragmatic.
Neurotic crank.
Neurotic crank. That was to a T his character in this movie, and it was played so well, and you could definitely see how it's controversial. Even
Definitely a B-list actor, though, right?
but obviously the loyalists didn't agree with him, right? Like, does it have any feelings on George Washington in there when he's tuning that ass? They probably didn't like him either,
Hey, man,
but the
my shirt doesn't
revolutionaries were
appreciate
for
that.
sure fans
Hold my
of him.
beer.
No, I'm saying he was beating them.
We at least have to run back neurotic crank as an insult that gets used frequently.
I'm gonna put that down in my phone.
Yeah. Do you have just a list of notes of just like good phrases?
Yeah, that's the first one. But I have it now.
Starting as of right now.
Oh yeah, I have it right here. Things to call Nick.
Damn. Hey, is this one of those things with sullying somebody's reputation while they're still alive?
Oh yeah,
Because I'd like that to happen to me at
you're
some point.
insignificant. Neurotic crank. I like it. We can call Johnny that because he likes that movie Crank.
Any Jason Statham.
Any Jason Statham movie makes his mole pulse.
Mole Pulse. The Mole Pulse podcast. We'll do that one next. The Mole Pulse. Oh man. Anyways,
Yeah.
where are we going now? You want me to keep going with Jim Cock?
Probably. Because
All right.
I have stuff on controversy later.
So he got the name, right? You got Sam Adams. They decided on that. Him and his wife and I'm sure father. But he couldn't get it out. He went to the bunch of distributors. They didn't want it. He was tired of his motivation for Boston Lager was he was tired of these American beers, Budweiser and all this just basically being watered down garbage. And he said he wanted a real beer that was
Full body.
from the German tradition
Yeah.
of brewing. He went to distributors, and they all said no. He decided, all right, fuck it. I'm going to go walk the streets of Boston. I took samples. 95% rejection rate, was out there slinging it for 5 months, trying to get some bars to get on board, and finally was able to get it started.
Slinging rock and drinking 40s.
Slinging Coke.
A bar decided to serve his beer, and they introduced it on Patriots Day weekend, which is April, which is the weekend of the Boston Marathon.
Boston Marathon, yep.
1985. 6 weeks after that, there was a Best Beer in America contest at the Great American Beer Fest, and they got number 1.
Sounds like it didn't bomb at the Boston Marathon. Anyway,
damn.
Let's move on. Yeah.
3 years later, they 2 years later, 1987, they bought a large old disenfranchised brewery, kind of like how most of these start, in Jamaica Plain neighborhood in Boston. It was the Haffenpfeffer and Company building. They became one of the first beers to display a freshness date, so a best by date. Enjoy our beer best by this date. I don't know if I think they still do that.
I wonder if that's to do with the hops.
Enjoy by August.
That are hand selected at 20 times the cost.
Enjoy by August. I'm assuming that means this year. I don't see a year. So
does that just mean it skunks?
It just they are trying to. You could easily market this right and not put it out, and no one would ever know when it was brewed. I don't think there's ever a brew done.
I mean, have you ever had a beer that was past the expired date and you tested it with one that was fresh?
I've never. So the only one I've done with that is
George Killian's from 1972.
No, but the Great Lakes. I had a Great Lakes Christmas ale that I kept over from last Christmas, and I drank it.
It's very nutty.
The next end of the summer or something, and it didn't taste that much different. But I didn't have another one to compare it to, so maybe I could be wrong. Yeah,
interesting.
But yeah, one of the first beers to put a freshness date.
I feel like
that's cool.
I feel like that's a market ploy that probably says, "Hey, we use quality ingredients," kind of like how Papa John's.
Do they say
use the freshest ingredients?
Do they claim to use the freshest ingredients?
Yeah, they do. I mean, my kids like it. Tastes like cardboard to me, but
I like Papa John's.
Wait, Nick, I want to hear your top 3 pizza rankings, and it better start with Tony's.
Oh. Can I say, wait, hold on. Just for context, does it have to be like made pizza, or does it have to be like a frozen pizza that
we got time? Let's do both.
All right. So
how about do top 5? And I want to see where frozen lies in with the rest.
Tony's brings back memories down, memory lane from playing Nintendo 64. So that's got to be in my top 5. I don't know where I'd place it really, but Tombstone makes a killer frozen pizza.
You know what?
All right, so top 5, we're on 2 frozen.
Wait, hold on real quick.
Capuano's, but that kind of gives away our location.
Nobody gives a shit.
Okay.
Real quick with the...
Come at us.
Hold on. Tombstone, to interrupt.
Yeah.
I went over to AJ's once, and I had a Tombstone pizza. I don't know what the hell he had.
Probably oatmeal without water.
Local contributor AJ Grove.
Yeah. He was baking the pizzas. He put mine in the oven with the fucking cardboard underneath it.
Oh, nice.
So it came out obviously not cooked, and I ate the whole thing anyway.
With the cardboard?
When you're young, you don't give a shit. It's like, this is probably nourishment. Let's do it.
Yeah, we were like 17.
Yeah, so Tony's Pizza, I would probably give it a 3 of my top 5. Capuano is probably number 1. Planks is in my top 5.
Planks? Oh,
Planks.
That's fair.
Yeah,
you were at Children's a lot. It's right there.
Mm-hmm. It's really good. Tombstone, Tony's, Capuano's, Planks. God, that's tough.
You don't have to have a 5.
Yeah, I don't have a 5th. I think
I'm
we're
just
going to leave it
happy
at
you
a hard
have 2
4.
frozens in there.
Kind of like, we'll leave it at 4.
Representation.
Usually where it ends.
I don't think frozen would be in my top 10.
We're just because we're including both. I was trying to include. Capuano's hands down.
Right.
Ooh, Villa or Eagles Pizza in New Albany.
Eagles is good.
It's pretty good. Good ingredients.
You didn't
Eagles and Villa are the same.
You didn't
thing.
really
They're
name
owned by
one
the same
shitty
people.
pizza place.
Yeah, I don't like Donato's and Domino's.
You like Donato's?
No. Do you ever eat Donato's and then you wake up at like 1 in?
No.
Feel like you walk through the Sahara. You're like, water.
Seth, you got a frozen pizza favorite?
California Pizza Kitchen.
The frozen ones?
Yeah, those are pretty good. I'll give them that. They're just expensive.
Oh, wait. I've also... So a couple of my wife, so our friends came over, and I made them a Quest pizza.
Oh,
that? Is that the
It's one of those
Kiwis? Is that the-
carb.
Quest is the
Gluten-free.
protein bar manufacturer. Like
Yeah.
Oh, they make a pizza crust?
they make an entire.
Was
pizza.
that also another cardboard pizza?
Yes, it was. I was the one who like ate the whole thing. They took a bite and then I ate the rest because that thing's not getting thrown out. But
No. Well, sometimes you got to commit as parents. We're the garbage disposals as the fathers. I mean, we're not going to let food go to waste.
There's no way
usually eat it.
there's no way you're eating a Quest pizza.
No. What's the
How much are you going to pay me? I'll do it.
Nothing. I just want to see you eat it.
what's that company that makes
That
cauliflower
makes
pizza?
no fun.
Pizza crust and cauliflower mac and cheese in boxes.
It's like green and white label
Annie's?
box. What?
Annie's.
no,
else?
no, that's
Nope.
like an organic one.
It's like
There's one that
organic
just makes it
pasta
like
company.
it's just straight organic. Or
Why are
straight,
we talking about
cauliflower.
pasta and pizza right now? Is this an Italian podcast?
Was this some Italian job?
I could go for some spaghetti right now.
I could keep
with some
going.
garlic
I
bread.
just got some random
Let's
dates that are
get
coming
back
out.
on track here. Talk about pizza.
Sam Adams, 1995, they went public because they were still stuck in like a 5,000, maybe not 5,000, but it was right around 5,000 square foot building brewing. So they didn't have enough money. They were selling well, but they didn't have enough money. They wanted to expand. Tight area in Boston, you can't just bulldoze houses, so you have to find somewhere
Yeah.
else to move.
Old city.
They went public to get some money. They sold off a significant share of the stocks. Jim Koch kept the majority share at the time. And they expanded. 97, this might be nepotism, but they acquired Huttapool Brewing. It was not still owned by his great-great-great-grandfather, but they were able to get it back in the family. So they were able to acquire that and take over a production facility in the Over the Rhine neighborhood.
Oh.
Where they
Which
were
is a
able to-
very distinguishable area right now.
And
If
now
you've
they
been to
have-
Cincinnati, the Queen City is booming right there over the Rhine.
And this is interesting, and I didn't know this because this is the Boston Beer Company. I went all the way to Boston. We drank this beer in Boston, and their flagship production facility where they produce most Sam Adams beer is in Cincinnati, Ohio.
What?
Yep,
Wow, that's a lot to unpack.
up to 2 million barrels a year. So
There you go. The most American beer of America is brewed right here in
they still
heartland.
produce it. They also that was in '97. That was where that was their biggest one then.
Where have we been since?
Since then, in 2008, so 11 years later, they opened an even larger facility in Brenningsville, Pennsylvania. So they brew now in Boston. They brew in Cincinnati. I believe they still own the area in Cincinnati, and now they also are in Pennsylvania.
Well, they also bought Dogfish Head, which, if you've seen our exploits of pumpkin beer, Kenny drank that twice.
Well, that was not until that was a while later.
Yeah.
Before that, this was like a big thing in Brenningsville, Pennsylvania. They took over that facility in 2008. Later that same year, they had just hired a new bottling company to make the bottles.
Bottling.
Bottling company.
Yep.
Bottling.
Not bottling.
Bottling.
Put some respect.
I'm an American. That's bottling.
Bottling.
They hired this new company
Bottle up.
on their huge expansion, and it did not go well. Their one of their first couple runs, there was a glass issue where 1 in 5,000 glasses could have trace amounts of glass that would cut somebody when they're drinking it.
Oh, I like that.
So they'd have to recall
It's like beer roulette.
all 5,000. Like for one little bottle out of every 5,000, they didn't.
Yes, I got the lucky bottle.
So it went to the CEO and the owner, and he decided we'll recall 25 million bottles of beer because we don't want someone to die.
Just going to parlay off of that. Why didn't they just leave it like that and it become like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? And if you are one of the lucky 1 in 5,000, you
dies?
get to, well,
It's a no,
tomatoes. Maybe your family gets to enjoy a nice tour with a lot of memorabilia. And
I don't think I would sit down and
And a
drink
nice-
six Sam Adams at the bar if I knew that one of those 1.25 of those would kill me.
yeah, you're right. You go on a 19 pint bender.
yeah, you just want to up your odds.
No, but
Bet it tastes
they
great. going
gave
down.
him props. It was basically going to
one way to
almost
clean you
bankrupt
out.
their company, and they recalled 25 million bottles, which was a cost to them at $1 a bottle.
I mean, they do own Twisted Tea, and that would be a nice knockout. if
They
you know
didn't
what I'm
buy
saying.
Twisted Tea till later.
Yeah, Nick, you're really getting ahead here.
Sorry.
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 Yep.
Sorry.
So he did the right thing, which was cool. That's admirable.
Yeah.
I'll buy more beer from him now.
That was probably a major exec level decision where they're like, we could probably sweep this under the rug and nobody will ever.
1 in 5,000 bottles like that.
Cover up
Those
is
aren't going
always
to end
worse.
up in the same town.
Yeah.
One guy at town
Who's gonna
dies
think?
from that also drinks Sam Adams. Lots of
Yeah.
guys in town drink Sam Adams.
There's probably already 1 in 5,000 guys that eats glass anyway. So you could probably just attribute it to
Yeah.
that.
Have you
really-
met Americans? We're a little bit crazy.
Yeah, they might never figure that out, but he decided, well, I'll just lose $25 million.
They're like, hold my beer.
I do like Nick's idea of if you get it, then the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory style like ticket. Maybe
Yeah.
you get buried in a Sam Adams glass coffin.
Ooh. Or underneath the.
Like a glass cup, they just put your body and they display you at the brewery.
Dude,
This guy died because he drank so.
Just
one.
bronze me.
glass coffins would be sick. I'm going to shake
Just
up the
bronze
funeral
me.
industry.
Just like stack them up.
I don't know the
Seems very expensive.
logistics.
You wouldn't be able to clean the inside. They'd get all yellow from the gases.
Glass is pretty cheap, isn't it? Sand. I mean,
Yeah,
isn't
I mean,
it?
yeah,
All right,
this is free.
it's a little crazy that
I buy
Tune
this
in,
and they give me
tune
this
in
for free.
later for our glass making podcast where Seth decides the cost and logistics of a glass coffin.
well, isn't it a little wild that something glass is like a pretty cool thing and it just shows up and then you throw it out in a beer bottle?
Yeah, it's just trash.
Yeah, you're
And it
like
just gets buried.
this bottle, which is, it's
Constructed.
right,
But like it's
cool
but
shape.
It's built like
Solid.
It doesn't. That's solid.
The moment you do that, it's going to shatter.
No, like it's enough to maybe drop from here, but you know what I mean. Like this,
Don't do
this
that.
isn't plastic, and then we just throw this in
Right, exactly.
trash. It gets buried in the ground
Single
and it sits
use.
there.
Yeah,
Again, we don't reuse anything except for mottos and ideas.
it's cool. It'll end up in the ocean.
We don't recycle shit.
Well, then it turns into sand faster, probably. That's broken glass in it.
That's probably what a Republican said at one point.
Yeah. Was it?
Nick, don't get political. I know you want to.
It was the guy. It was the guy that made the Inconvenient Truth.
Oh, that dude.
Michael Moore. No,
The guy that's bald. No, that's Curb Your
No,
Enthusiasm.
that's
the guy who invented the internet.
No, that's Michael Myers that you're thinking of, and that's the guy.
The sequel.
That's the serial killer of Wayne's World, right?
Al Gore. Why can't I think of names?
Yeah. Recount.
The polar bears are very upset with you right now.
No, they're dead.
There's
So
no more polar bears.
No, they're not. Have
They
you ever
were-
watched Blue Planet?
They were on the iceberg when the Titanic hit it.
Nick, have you ever watched Wall-E?
Wow. Sorry, I had to do that. My kids love it.
That was a really good movie.
Wow.
Very depressing, but it was good.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. But it's a robot. So.
You guys seen Wally?
You know it becomes,
Yeah.
it's recycled.
But then they find the plant.
Eva. Eva. Yeah.
If anyone has an old DVD copy of Wally, will you send it to Nick? Please.
His address is
Nope.
197. I guess I'm close.
Wallaby Way, Sydney. We want to talk about marketing?
Yeah.
They spent a little under 100 million on advertising, digital print, and national TV in 2022. So I mean,
Little under $1 million?
little under 100 million.
Oh, 100 million.
So I mean, definitely when we've looked at the charts with InBev and Constellation brands, not nearly as much.
No, hardly.
But they're more of a local. I mean, I don't know where everything that we've seen that they've acquired that they're a parent company to is mostly local.
You
In the United States. Yeah, they're not like more global.
Yeah, I don't know much about their exports. I could
Yeah.
look that up real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I feel like they could definitely use like John Krasinski and that one chick from Saturday Night Live. Have you ever seen the Hyundai commercials? Smart Pack.
I haven't
I
seen
parked it by the harbor.
I haven't
Like
seen
that
that
stuff. Oh, they should totally utilize them for Sam Adams commercial. It would go really, really
I
well.
take offense to all the Bostonians that are insulted by Saturday Night Live. As a former
I think that is an
visitor
American.
of Bostonia, not kind. Not kind.
Nah. Are
Some
you or
experts.
are you not a knock?
there. It is the town.
European.
Yeah.
Finally, he's finally. I was waiting. We're
The
like,
NFAC.
30
Not
minutes in.
Freaking around.
Did that
crew.
complete the list of the top 50 most quoted movies on IMDb? Nick finally hit them all.
Yeah, on our 101st episode, he finally made it.
I could be really tired, but I could still quote a movie. I promise you that.
You can't be tired. I've seen.
Yeah, how many energy drinks have you had today?
I need some stats.
I get a 6-pack every morning, and I try to get through them by 10 o'clock at night.
That's a joke.
Oh, it's 100% a joke. I'm not trying to have a heart attack.
How many have you had today?
1?
What? You said you had it rain this morning.
Yeah, that's
And
the only
you-
one I've had.
You just opened one.
Yeah, but I haven't eaten it or drank it. Definitely can't eat it.
So you're going for two. So you're going
for
2.
Yeah, I mean, I might.
Okay, how many?
We're lighting the midnight oil here tonight, so
Okay, so all right.
I have to have that on tap.
I guess Nick's getting by on a technicality.
In 2020 or in 2014, Sam Adams exported to 30 different countries. I guess you don't hear about like
Companies that they have bought that are global. It's more just exporting their beer.
yeah, that's probably
For all of you
I'm looking
viewers,
into it right
just
now.
to be clear, this is
In
a
20
Kenny Kwikpak special that I actually had a full beer. I don't want to make everybody think that I just had a little bit.
That's fair.
Yeah, they were wondering.
In 2009, the Boston
hope
Beer
they were.
Company announced a 2-year project with German brewer Wines to Fine
Oh,
to jointly
Nothing
produce
finer.
a new craft beer named Infinium. That's kind of a badass name.
Yeah, that is
Infinium
cool.
to be marketed in both the Germany and the U.S. The brewers described the beer, which was sold in corked bottles and had an alcohol content of 10.3,
Lord have mercy.
as a champagne-like crisp pale brew.
Ooh, sounds like a mead.
Only 15,000
At that
cases
percentage.
were released in North America at a suggested retail price of only $20.
You said Infinium?
15,000 cases. Infinium.
Yeah, so
That's a like
That would be kind of cool to get your hands on one of those.
it was supposed to be like a New Year's Eve thing for people who didn't want to have champagne. You drink beer.
marketed.
Oh.
Yeah, marketed towards drinkers who would rather toast with beer than champagne on New Year's Eve.
I don't want to know those people though. Just toast with champagne. Don't be a fucking weirdo.
I would usually, yeah, unless it gets to be 8 o'clock and people are getting to your house and you're like, shit, I forgot to buy champagne.
got
I'm
some
gonna
Infinium.
I'm gonna put beer in these breakable wine glasses that are, I have 2, and then they get the other ones in shot glasses. That never happened to me. It's in a book I read.
Yeah, oddly specific.
Yeah.
I was there. That's weird.
Nerd.
So bringing back a triggered traumatic experience.
Oh, 2018, Boston Beer Company Sam Adams became the official beer of the Boston Red Sox, replacing Budweiser. Like we were talking about, the decline
Budweiser's
of the
baseball.
Budweiser in the state, in the Boston Beer.
So it wasn't just Dylan that did it. It was
The 8-year deal lasted through the
Adams.
last through 2025 season for the Red Sox and includes signage and a Sam roof deck. The agreement also allows Boston Beer to use the Red Sox logo for marketing purposes, run Red Sox related contests with tickets to the game. That's pretty cool.
Do they sponsor anything else that our viewers would find interesting?
Not that I've seen. It says since the 2021 season, Twisted Tea has been the naming sponsor of Team Twisted Tea Suzuki in AMA Motocross and Supercross. So for our Supercross viewers,
Nothing to do with boxing or
shout
like
out to you.
Travis Pastrana.
cage fighting, maybe.
I don't see anything about
You
cage.
saw everything that happened with the person that got knocked out with the twisted tea. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they sponsored that.
Yeah, I know, but that got a lot of
They probably got
a lot of publicity.
They probably gave that guy his $2 back.
Wait, was that in the gas station?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
That was
And
in
it
Ohio.
exploded.
Oh,
I think it was down near Cincinnati.
I think that might have been the downfall to Four Loko.
why?
I don't know. They were the same size can.
That was it.
Yeah. There's no strict correlation.
I think
I'm
Force
making
Loko-
a fact again.
Forge Loco knocked out a lot more people than Twisted Tea.
That's
We've all been there.
Seth,
I
you got
can't. The last time that I had a Four Loko, I remember we went to PJ's on campus.
Oh boy.
Talk about regret in the morning, man. You eat a sandwich with like chicken tenders, mozzarella sticks,
That place.
bread. That would wreck your world. It tasted amazing at 2 a.m, but at 2 p.m. the next day, you thought you swallowed an ashtray.
You can't actually get Four Loko if you're over 21. Is the thing about it?
Yeah, I don't think they sell it unless you're John Snyder.
Does he still have those?
He's
Four
got a
Loko
guy.
Gold.
He's got a guy.
He knows a guy.
PJ sandwiches are still there. Ooh, Frambies.
Nope.
Seth, you got something about Opie and Anthony?
Yeah, but before that, I
got
know
something else?
Nick mentioned the acquisition or whatever of
Oh, yeah.
Angry Orchard and Twisted Tea.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into that?
No.
Okay.
Did they? Do you know? Did they acquire Angry Orchard, or did they start Angry Orchard? I think they
started Angry
I think
Orchard.
they
but
opened up the cider house. I don't think
Oh.
they bought it. I think they were like, we were just
They're the
gonna
one
get
that
into cider.
started it.
Which
so
is
it's
cool. That's
different
original.
than Dogfish. Dogfish, they kind of partnered with them.
Yeah, it's like they own that. Like Boston Beer Company bought Dogfish Head, but allowed them to remain their own
Entity.
Say they're independent, I guess.
Yeah. They take a cut.
Yeah, it's kind of like a partnership, but they probably help them out when there's probably a good contract.
I've never really been a cider fan of Angry Orchard. I mean, I get that they started it, and I'm sure that's a great ploy because, I mean, you look at a lot of people that drink ciders right now. It's not my thing, but it's pretty popular.
I think it was. I never realized how popular it was. Like in the old days, like it's a traditional thing. Like our founding fathers drank hard ciders. Like it's kind of easier probably to make than beer. Like beer is just pretty German.
Well, you're
I think
fermenting it.
Cider is pretty American. Like, I mean, I'm sure they've obviously done it other places, but
I mean, we can
probably
definitely delve into that later.
If you go back into our history, I'd bet hard cider would be more traditional here than beer. It was just kind of the Germans that brought us beer.
Germans.
I'm sure we had some English ales, but I don't know. We haven't gotten into those yet.
Yeah. Scottish ales and stuff like that.
But
I mean, we
can't
could
imagine
definitely
Scotland would have a good export system.
Yeah, we could definitely dive into ciders at some point because it's pretty obscure market. Like there's not a lot of publicity about it, you know? There's so much marketing with all these other big beers, ales, pilsners, and lagers that we don't really spend a lot of time talking about the process of a cider and what that entails because obviously they're probably not going to use malt.
Yeah, we're learning with you.
Yeah. Let's go on this journey of education.
I already know
that
about
Seth is not going to be a part of.
I already know
already
about.
knows everything he knows.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Slate Run when I was in 3rd grade, and they made apple cider. So get at me.
That is American.
You can at him at.
Did they let it ferment too long?
I don't know. I mean, I remember them grinding up apples, and there were like bees flying into the apples as they were grinding it.
Poor apples.
It's kind of a weird.
This is kind of a Malt Vault podcast challenge. If you're listening or watching, in the comments, let Seth know all the facts that he doesn't know. We're gonna really turn the tables on him.
Yeah,
we're gonna educate him on some things.
Well, I mean, if you're under the, I've already said that I refuse to accept anything, so it's gonna fall on deaf ears.
No, I think we can do it, folks. Challenge accepted.
You want to talk about the philanthropy?
We don't know about it. We already know about it. From Jim, we know these facts.
All right, Nick, tell me.
Nope, you go ahead. Just kidding.
Sick joke. All right, early 2008. Well, actually, we didn't even touch on the fact that Sam Adams kicked off the beer, like the microbrew revolution in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
Like they're kind of responsible for the fact that I know you mentioned that they wanted something besides Budweiser because it tastes like shit, but they're really responsible. And by really, I mean, I just think they are for, whatever the 5,000 independent brewers that we have now. Because up until that point, and again, I'm just sort of speculating because I don't know my history, it just seemed like there were 8 beers you could get. And now we have probably too many.
I don't think we have too many.
You think we have not enough?
I think we're good.
You think we have just the right amount?
Yeah, I'm still trying them all, so.
Pristine. We have the amount.
We'll get there. Yeah, it is kind of hard to overlook, though, the fact that he comes from big beer. Like, Hudepohl, it was kind of, I mean, maybe not back in the day, but in the 80s, I'd say. Like, it was started in his great, so Cincinnati Brewing Company he comes from a long line of beer. But yeah, he made the right choice. Like, he wanted to go smaller.
Yeah. Can a man change his stars?
More precise.
Knight's Tale.
Yeah,
we'll talk about
Hudepohl when we do the Not Your Father's episode.
Not your father's.
Not your father's, your grandfather's. That's one of our episodes that'll be coming up.
All right, you mentioned Opie and Anthony.
Yeah. Do you have that pulled up right now?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
So from 2000 to 2002, Sam Adams sponsored a radio show on WNEW-FM called Opie and Anthony, and this was in New York. On this show, the host created a promotion called Sex for Sam, in which Opie and Anthony encouraged couples to have sex in notable public places in New York City. On August 15th, 2002, a Virginia couple was charged with public lewdness after attempting... So what is attempt? Okay, we'll get into that in a second. After attempting to have sex in a vestibule at St. Patrick's Cathedral This led
why
to
gotta be
the
a
firing of the radio host a week later. So attempted sex is like no penetration.
That's what I did all of high school.
You look like a guy who would soak.
So, like at a
Now we're getting into suburban dictionary here.
yeah.
There's no
attempted.
friction.
I'd say yeah. I don't know. How do you charge with attempted? It's like Minority Report shit, right? So like you don't know.
Pre-cogs.
Pre-coitus.
All right.
The perpetrators were apprehended pre-coitus.
Podcast over. Porn's on now. Just kidding.
Thanks. Are there more comments on that one, or do you want me to go to the next one?
No, I just
I mean,
to
that's
reiterate,
crazy.
they created it was called Sex for Sam. I don't know if there was a beer prize, but it was definitely related to Sam Adams Brewing, right?
Beer prize.
I don't know
Wow.
how that came out, but
I've never heard of that. That's wow. Compelling and rich.
The beer prize was a glass coffin.
There you go. Made by Seth
On July
in the future.
4th, 2013, a video commercial for Sam Adams. This one's a little bit deeper.
hold on, I found it real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
The agency wanted to know who signed off on the contest. All the station's records concerning the first two Sex for Sam contests, where entrants have sex in public places to win a trip paid for by the radio station to the Sam Adams Brewery. So that's pretty dope.
So I also read here that Coke actually rented excess capacity in late 1999 and ended up helping brew Iron City, which was a beer of Pittsburgh Brewing Company. So he not only bought Hudapole, but he also started to take over Iron City.
Lewis?
No, not Lewis. That was the
Charles?
great-grandfather. Nope, Jim. Same Jim.
Jim tried to take over Iron City.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a fleggling company. It's not as strong as it used to be.
He took the Rust Belt. Right out.
I didn't know Opie and Anthony. I mean, I knew I'd heard of Opie and Anthony, but I figure when you hear a radio pair is fired, that's the end. But I guess they live on and they move somewhere else. So, what do you know when they were fired from Sam Adams or from this Boston-based?
You said 2002 was when it aired, right?
Yeah.
In '98, Opie and Anthony on April Fool's Day were fired from WAAF FM in Boston, Massachusetts, after falsely announcing that Mayor Tom Marino was killed in a car accident. So they got there and
They're the original
mayor
BuzzFeed.
was dead, and he wasn't, and they got fired from that. So there's like a whole rap sheet of what these guys did.
They sound like
Sounds pretty dope.
they're into
I
a
don't
lot
want to
of
read
debauchery.
some of them out loud because it's the early 2000s, so there was a lot of
R words.
comfortable things
Oh.
that we're not comfortable with anymore, like 17-year-old girls doing
Unspeakable acts.
on the phone with them.
Ooh.
I guess maybe you weren't even okay with that back then. Probably.
Might have draw the line.
In 2001, they disrupted a blood drive conducted by a rival radio pair by sending someone to the event to yell obscenities through a bullhorn at people donating blood so that they wouldn't donate blood for their rival. These guys are ruthless.
Are you sure this is not the people? This isn't the creators of South Park, is it?
No, this is
On June 2nd, 01, they
joking.
sabotaged the WNBC
I
Channel
know.
4 news telecast by having someone creep up behind the reporter and hold up a profane sign about women's genitalia. And then on August of 2001, a Virginia couple was rearrested after they allegedly had sex in a vestibule of St. Patrick's Cathedral, while Opie and Anthony's producer Paul Mercuro recorded the act for the show.
Why in the hell
I'm
did
assuming
Sam
that just
Adams
the noise.
endorse
It's a radio
them?
show. I think Sam Adams
This
just
had to
gave
have been
them
a
money
joke.
to do like contests.
Oh,
Sam Adams obviously quickly distanced themselves from it.
yeah.
But that's
Wow.
yeah.
That's
I
hilarious.
knew I'd heard of Opie and Anthony, but I didn't realize.
they tried to disavow. Yeah, they sound like the bar owners from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah,
They released. They launched Twisted
Yeah.
Tea in 2000, and then Hardcore Cider in 1997.
hardcore. Oh, cider. Yeah.
I wonder if that turned out to be Angry Orchard,
maybe. And then
because
they,
I don't see anything about their subsidiaries about
they also own Truly.
hardcore. Yeah, seltzers, which everybody's getting into right now. You got White Claw, Truly.
Truly's doesn't seem to be the top.
I just
contender
got
right
Macy
here.
this mom water stuff.
Is it good?
I don't know. It's mom water. I'm a dad.
Is that called amniotic fluid?
Nope. It's a seltzer named Mom Water. It's not dad water. I don't touch it.
I get
It's
it.
written right on the label. It says not for dad.
Are you a dad?
Yeah, I drink beer and whiskey
That's fair.
and other spirits and libations.
Yeah, you're a big fluids guy.
Other things.
yeah.
I'm really big on
I
fluids.
got the sugars. You know
hot
what they always say
shortage,
about you guys
Hot
aren't ready for
shortage.
that one yet.
Boston Red Sox. I already hit that. Yeah, that's all I kind of got.
I've got two more. These are not as fun, but I'm going to read them anyway. And I'll let you be the judge. So July 4th, 2013, video commercial for Sam Adams beer was rolled out. And the controversy was they omitted the phrase endowed by their creator in its invocation of the Declaration of Independence, which outraged critics.
Yeah, I get that.
But Sam Adams said they were just following trade association rules. Company said in a statement, the Beer Institute advertising code says beer advertising and marketing material should not include religion or religious themes.
Separation of church and state, checks and balances. Got it.
Of beer and state, yeah. But people get
But it is in the Declaration of Independence, so you don't have to separate it out.
Yeah, it's there.
They made up the separation.
Why does
Church and
everybody
state,
got to
right?
be so damn critical? Everything's a lawsuit anymore.
so damn literal?
So there's that one, and then the last one that I have. 2020, for the first time ever, the company removed the popular Old Fezziwig Ale from their Winter Classics variety
That
pack.
was such a good beer.
Gonna have to find the label. What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
I bet I have it. I have a whole bunch of Sam Adams labels in my drawer.
That was a good beer.
You shouldn't have said that out loud because they,
Are gonna come and get you.
it's always they. They are coming now.
Big beer.
If you hear a loud thud and the mics and the lights cut off, it's because they came and got
Because
Kenny.
the power went out.
They cut the power. They cut the power. There's a bomb in the building. Everybody get in the chopper.
That's what I got. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else in my notes here. Nope. That's what I got.
All right.
Show it to the camera. Make sure they know.
See? You enter the room. You talk about Sam Adams beer. Nick talks about Sam Adams beer. End scene.
I wanted your notes just to have like a hangman drawing.
It's just a doodles.
And then it's Sam Adams and we live guess the letters.
That would be bad.
All right. So that's all we have today for Sam Adams Brewing, also known as Boston Beer Company,
Owned by, yeah.
owned by. Thank you for watching. Strap off.
Strap off. Yikes.